Boys Honey, and we are getting ready to do our first ever Facebook Live to show you a little bit more about our honeybees. So what we're going to do, it's going to be highly scientific. Tim's going to have the phone in his pocket showing you all what's happening down with the bees, and I am going to call out the questions to him that anyone might have. So feel free to ask any questions you have, and we'll go ahead and get going. We are, for those who aren't sure, we're actually down at our church where we have extra hives. So I'm going to get as close as I can. Camera was facing the wrong way. Okay, so I can actually see comments again now. So yeah, so this is the frames. Timmy, you go ahead and talk. Yeah.
This is the cap brood on here. The bees are getting a little bit antsy, so Barbara may be staying for a short period of time because she hasn't got any bee clothing on. So I'm just going to set this one aside as well. And I'm going to take out another one. Just going to show you some more brood. Another little bit of stuff we're going to put it down. So this is older brood right now, so this is dark brown. And so these bees are going to be hatching out pretty soon. So I have a video, I think Barbara put it on YouTube. So these bees are about to hatch in the next couple of days, 2 or 3 days. There's about 1,500 cells on each side. Not all of them are full, but quite a lot of them are full on this one. So there's maybe 1,000 bees on this one. Again, the same on the other side, about 1,000 bees here as well. So we'll just show up, see what it looks like. I'm going to put it back in. As I talked before, bees live for about 6 weeks. So these bees that are in here now are pretty old. I got them a week or 2 weeks ago whenever I got them. They're dying off, or a lot of their family have died off. So they're waiting on the new breed to be born. And just looking here at the hive. Right here, the bee has laid some eggs again, and some of the bees are cells. And this side right here, the same thing. They're just cleaning, polishing the cells, prepare it for more bees, more eggs to be laid. So this is a frame full of pollen. Alright, just put it around the smoke there, just let them know. So these are a lot of young bees. I'm going to try and bring it over a little bit to Barbara so she can see it here. They're going to stay on it. These are a lot of young bees. You can see the color pollens on it, the different pollen colors. Yellow and white and orange. There may be some greens as well.
Hold on. Yeah.
All right.
Just stand there if you can a minute, because this is kind of cool.
Okay, not too long because the bees are
not happy
shortly. All right. Okay. So that hive. So there's just the different types of brood, and they put nectar into the frames nearest to the brood. That's to feed the young bees when they're born. So always they put the nourishment near the baby bees so that they can receive the food pretty quickly once they're born. So I'm just getting another frame here, bring it out to show you. This will probably be the last one I'll do on this frame, this hive. So this here's the queen on the frame. I'm going to see if I can keep her on this. Here, she's on facing me. I'll turn her shortly. She's on the bottom right hand corner as you look. You can see her longer abdomen than the others, walking along the frame.
Yeah, we've got her in the middle of the frame there.
All right, so I don't want to take this too far away in case
she's also not quite as stripy, it seems.
All right, so basically I put in a medium-sized frame. So there's different sized boxes I showed you at the beginning there, where you had a deep box and a medium box. This is a medium frame put into a deep box because I didn't have enough deep frames. And they just lay on the extra wax. They put on the wax and they build it up to be a deep frame anyway. So this is what they do. They're good at building it up. They're excellent little architects. I'm just going to put that in so the queen is safe in there. If any harm comes to the queen, the whole colony can become in peril. So it's pretty important that you make sure the queen is well looked after and is safe at all times. They can survive without a queen if they have young eggs in the hive. They can feed those young eggs with royal jelly and make the queen, make one of those into, sorry, just replacing this here. And then I'm going to put back the box. Back on top. Back my inner cover. And put these ladies to bed for the night. Now if you look at the front of the hive, and Barbara will show you that there, I put somebody's cutting the grass on the neighbours, so there's nothing I can do about it. There's an outside and an external hive feeder, so it's just basically a mason jar, and I fill it with sugar syrup at the beginning to give them some sustenance so they didn't have to go out when they didn't really know the locale or the area. So that's what they were doing at the time. Drinking that sugar syrup. It's finished right now. I have another one in the car that I'll just replace it with in case they need it, although these look like quite strong, so they don't look like they need it. This one over here, or you want to stand on this side over there? Yeah. You walk in here. Yeah. This is another swarm I caught. There's some carpenter bees around here. I don't know if Barbara can see it. They're trying to burrow a hole into the side of the beehive, fresh wood. This is a 5-frame nuke. It's a 5-frame hive, so it's very, very small. All right, it's quite full, and probably in a few days' time, I'm probably going to just replace these into either an 8-frame or a 10-frame box. I'm going to open it up now. I've just given them some smoke. And again, at this time of the day, most of the foragers are out working. So what I'm looking for in this hive is some eggs that the queen lays. Either the sign of the queen or that the queen is laying eggs. So one of those two things. So this can find the queen anywhere. So they're filling it with nectar and pollen, which is a good sign. But they probably would be doing that anyway, although there's a kind of a queen cell there and there's no eggs. So this hive may be queenless, because I think it was a swarm that I caught, but I wasn't sure if there was a queen in it or not. I think it was a virgin queen, and there are risks involved with a virgin queen. So there are some larvae on this one, but it all looks like it's drone larvae. So it looks like it is set to die. So this is a hive that is not going to function on its own without a queen. So they're trying to create. There's a worker who's laying eggs and mimicking a queen, and she's not doing a very good job. There's a capped queen cell at the top. Most of these are drone cells, so it looks like...
Are you able to show us what drone cells look like compared to...
They're the little bullets. So when you look at it, there's little bullets, and the long peanut-shaped one is a queen cell. Those are queen cells.
Okay.
All right, and there's pollen on this as well. So I probably need to combine this with another hive and ensure they have a queen that will lay properly. So these are the bees hanging together. At the bottom is a brilliant shot of the bees hanging. They're on chains to create the wax at the bottom of this frame. This is another medium frame, and it's going in a deep box, and they're trying to fill up that space. So they hang their legs together, and they grab each other's wings, and they pass the wax from one bee to another bee, and they start making the comb. So they're making that right now. And they're putting nectar in here, and nectar on this side. So it looks like there's no queen on this one, so I'm just going to close it up. I'm not going to antagonize them anymore. But it's something that, as animal husbandry or whatever you want to call it, you got to look after these bees. So I got to do something to prevent them from dying off, because they're going to last at most 6 weeks. All the bees will be dead in 6 weeks. So I'm going to try and do something in the next day or two, give them a swarm with a queen so they can survive.
Yeah, thank you, friends. I'm going to go ahead and cut off in a minute. Feel free to post questions and we can answer them. I think we're going to do sort of a Q&A session as well, but really appreciate you joining us. Again, as Tim said, sorry for the technical difficulties. We're down at our church location, and the Wi-Fi and the signal are just really, really bad. So, Sue wants to know, how do you identify a queen from a drone? The queen is definitely much larger.
Yeah, she's about twice as big as a worker. about 1.5 times bigger than a drone. On the video, if you play it back, you'll see a picture of the queen. There was a queen.
I'll try to isolate a picture of the queen.
So we can take a screen grab and grab that.
Yeah.
So it was a really good picture. So one of the hives has a queen. So it may mean combining the other two or bringing some more bees down here, which I have to do anyway, and combine those hives together.
Yeah. So Colette wants to know what's the smoke for?
The smoke calms the bees, so that they're not going to come up and sting. So what I'm going to do at the moment, and a couple of things you can talk about here, is there's 3 hives you can see, one on the right and the 2 weak ones on the left. Now, if I were to move any of those hives more than 3 feet away, the bees would not be able to find their home. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to move both of those 2 hives, the 2 weak ones, about 1 foot or 1.5 feet closer together. So I'll leave them like that for a day or two, and then move them another 1.5 feet, maybe tomorrow or Monday, and then put a new hive in that spot. So the bees will combine in the hive. If you move more than 3 feet, they will all sit and wait in that spot and die. So they're not going to be able to find their location.
They can fly 3 miles away, but they can't find their hive if it moves 3 feet. So a couple other questions. So why can't they survive a queen without a queen? The reason they can't survive without a queen is simply because the queen is the one who is laying all the new eggs. So from approximately late February through end of October in this area, the queen is constantly laying eggs. She lays more in the late spring and through the summer, and she lays fewer in the fall and winter, and almost none in the winter time. But so if the queen isn't laying eggs, the average bee lifespan is about 6 weeks. So once all the eggs hatch and those bees live their lifespan, there are no new bees to replace them.
You can see right now.
All right, friends, thank you so much for watching with us today. We hope you learned a little bit. Like I said, we are going to probably tomorrow just do a general Q&A, so feel free to bring your questions then as well. We thank you for being with us, and take care and enjoy your afternoon.